Welcome back to another match of StarCraft 2 action on Abiogenesis LE. I think that's the first time I may have even pronounced it correctly. We have a match between StarCraft, two teams from the After Hours Gaming League from Capital One. In the blue trunks in the top left corner, we have Samura. And spotting in the bottom right in the yellow trunks, our Zerg player for Team Raytheon Corgi Squad, Shadarki. With the extractor cancel, I haven't seen that in a while. It's pretty good. So, Abiogenesis, you've got a pretty decent sized base. It leads down to a pretty easy to defend natural. Third base is where you have to defend, or how you're going to decide how to defend it, whether you kind of want to bounce around this way. Woo, that's really fast. Or you just want to take a third base from here. So some decisions have to be made. One of the things that are very interesting is a lot of the maps have some doodads that give high ground vision but don't allow a unit to be able to stand there. So very good for Zerg to be able to just chill over there and kind of see what's going on there. Both players playing pretty standard right now. The only thing about Shadarki is that Shadarki usually would take a third, like an expansion at some point right here. So Samura, seeing that there's no expansion there, very, very alarming right here. We see an extractor going on. Not a lot of gas, or a good amount of gas mined in yet, but nothing from no speed ready, but that second base goes down. So a little bit of slight out of order coming from Shadarki. We see a cybernetics core and a second gateway coming out. A zealot being pushed out a little bit early, just to have some sort of army presence on the map. Interesting kind of development here. Both players just kind of doing what they need to do. Now, the kind of edge that Samura has right now is he's actually leading in the unit count. So there's 22 probes, one on the map, to just 17 drones from our Zerg player. So definitely able to do a little bit more when it comes to the income right here. Able to get a little gas, but mostly just being able to favor the minerals. But Shadarki was able to get just enough for gas, maybe a little bit more, and it's pulling off. And it looks like he's gonna do kind of an older style, which is, you know, get Zergling speed, maybe flood some lings early on in the map, and then be able to take a pretty safe third. We see some adepts being warped in behind this. The Zerglings are able to get around with that, so that's kind of the reason, or sometimes having an early zealot may not be as effective. You know, the Zergling can run around that, but these adepts right here, they weren't misrally. They'd actually be able to shut that down, being able to one-shot a single Zergling if both of them were doing it at the same time. That Zergling's not long for this world, but was able to get some scouting information knowing that, hey, there are 3 gateways right here. And 3 gateways before an expansion usually would tell a Zergling that there's a little bit of aggression coming, but we see 2 more queens being pushed out. Looks like speed is almost done. I wouldn't be surprised if our Zerg player starts flooding lings, but they might be just doing it just to have it just in case. They have a very, very forward presence in the map. Samura bringing down a third base. You want to have this third base like 30 to 45 seconds earlier. This expansion is really, really late. So being able to get the units that you need is going to be pretty wonky. Samura keeping most of his warp gates active for most of this. Warp gate is about 66% of the way done. Has some adepts along the way, but being able to just two-shot these Zerglings right here, but we see another flood of about 5 or 6 Zerglings along the back side right here. Will they be able to intercept an additional adept right here? These adepts are moving in. Looks like we see a shade going in. A partial surround, being able to lock that down, but oh my goodness. Be able to get through. The Zerglings are kind of just like, where did it go? But these adepts are actually in the main right here. Looks like they're just focus firing some units, but with 2 queens right there, it's going to shut it down pretty quickly, and not a whole lot of damage lost. 3 adepts for 2 drones and a handful of lings. Not super healthy. We actually see quite a few lings being able to just roam along the map. There's about 10 lings so far between all of them. The production tab, it looks like he's just ramping up behind it. We see 7 drones behind it, which is pretty good. So just macroing up quite a bit. So Shadarki's doing a lot of good stuff here. Now it's taken the worker league, getting up to 33 workers to 25. That second Nexus is back up online. We see a 4th and a 5th gateway coming down. We see a 6th gateway coming down, and Twilight Council. So either some Templar play, or we're going to see a transition to Charge-Lot Archon, or something like that is kind of the plan for our Protoss player Samura, excuse me. When is Shadarki going to get that third base? Going to the income tab right here. We see Protoss really heavily favoring the gas right here. Looks like, are we going to see a Baneling bust? He's got a lot of money. He's got, like, he can expand and still do the Baneling bust right here, but we'll see what it goes. We see a robotics facility being put down behind it as well. So lots of tech going behind and not a lot of economy. So that's the only thing Samura keeping his money pretty low. The army sizes are pretty similar, but there's 8 behind on the drones. So lots and lots of craziness there. All right, so we're going up to 16 lings right now. I think, oh wow, we see a third base. We see Lair at the same time. So Shadarki doing a lot of crazy stuff all at the same time. I think Samura might be teching too hard. But we'll see. These lings are just trying to get a little bit of map positioning right here. We see one ling taking the expansion, so Shadarki doing a good job. Keeping an eye when third bases come along the lines. Even fourth bases. Wow, just it's a lot of early scouting. He wants to make sure that no shenanigans happen with that. Going to the army side, or going to the army tab, we've got kind of a mix of just general gateway units, just 16 lings, but lots of queens. 5 queens between the 3 bases right here. So lots of anti-air defense, lots of creep spread happening. Some additional zergling going on along the map, and still just both players kind of just posturing, doing what they want to do. Now here's the thing, we see a lot of tech. We see a Twilight Council, which I don't think has been turned on yet. We see the Templar Archives, which just now began researching Storm. We see robotics facility with just putting out observers right there. And it's just, using a lot of this tech is not able to get a lot with it. We've got to be very decisive when it comes to putting the tech down. I'm going to put this Twilight Citadel down, or Twilight Council down, so that way I can get Blink or Charge Lot right away. And so that might be what's preventing Samura from being able to be in a really good spot. But taking out that Overlord right there, being able to shoot away some of that vision, which is always pretty dope. We did see 4 Banelings being put in. Where are some of these Banelings? They're actually mixed in the army right here. Going to his vision, he actually has a pretty good idea, except for that base that just got taken down. Really, really good vision that for most attack paths, he would know that the attack is coming. So very, very good stuff from the Zerg player right here. 3 or 4 Templar get morphed in right there. It looks like possibly a 5th. We got Storm about 90% done. So that's what's going to be what's relying on his ability to be able to just attack on the army right there. Again, mostly Zergling Baneling right now. But back at home, we see a tech structure from, like, literally a line of tech structures. So dual evolution chamber, Hydralisk getting the upgrades for groove spines and +1 missile attack and melee attack. So both favoring all the attacks for everything. So literally just going to be like, I'm going to use my units to kill you as fast as physically possible. And that's what we're going to be going here. So on the flip side, we see Zealot Speed Charge being able to research. We see +1 ground weapons in addition to some additional army right here. So took a while for that technology to be researched online, but Samura needs to be taking a third base. A lot of these minerals are starting to get really, really low right here. Take a third base right here, be able to expand behind it, do some sort of attack. Got some Archons actually flowing in right there. So both armies are pretty similar right here. The Shadarki has kind of a, just, again, Ling, Baneling, but it looks like we're going to see some Hydralisks come into the mix. So the longer this goes on, the longer Protoss is going to be in problems, right? Shadarki can take a 4th base, and there probably wouldn't be too much that our boy Samura would be able to do right here. We see a Lurker 10 going down. Oh, those Lurkers. Those Lurkers. I miss Lurkers in Brood War. Lurkers were dope. Lurkers just, I don't know, man, like Legacy of the Void, they're just spooky. But speaking of spooky, we see a big army going on in here. We see an Overseer. Just keeping an eye on, make sure that there aren't any observers following along, so on and so forth. Oh, speaking of observers, moving along the map right here. Is he gonna, where is he headed? Where is he headed? He sees the big army right there, but for just a big second, or just a brief second, 21 more Banelings on the way. That's a good chunk of Banelings right there. With this mostly gateway army, this is not good for our boy Samura. I don't know why I'm whispering. I just don't want him to know that. These Banelings are just going to bust into his door, which is no bueno right here. Again, the longer this is going on, the inability to get third base is really, really important. These minerals are running out. We actually see Burrow going in. We see that the Hydralisk speed just got done being researched. It's pretty dope as well. Third base finally getting taken, finally being set up. That one link knows that it's coming. That probe is going to just get completely demolished. I'll call it out that that's happening. So how is Shadarki going to respond? It looks like he's going to roll on in. Does Samura know this is happening? Samura has no vision of the map other than what he controls right here. Uh-oh. Big exchange going on right here. These Banelings just rolling right in on the Protoss army right here. These Hydras are there just doing some exchanges. A couple storms go down. Not very good, but out of the army just actually retreat right there. Woo, that got really spooky really, really fast. 24 Lings on the way behind it. If we go to the units lost tab and go to the check the resources lost, it's favoring Protoss right here. However, there's not a lot of a difference in the army supply. Even in the unit counting station, the army supply, or just the supply in general, is still favoring Zerg. 20 more Banelings! Protoss thought he was good. A couple spine crawlers being put down. Try to do a little bit of defense right here. These Banelings are now live. Samura doesn't know that they're there. They're rolling in right there. No force fields are available. Some stores go down. Be able to phase out and do a little bit of splash damage on these Hydralisks right here. Oh, fantastic storms, but just barely enough for the Zerg army to just reign supreme. We see a Ling flood going on. Back home, we see some Stalkers being warped in right here, which with a Ling flood is not good. You gotta have Blink to be able to make these Stalkers be worth being able to reinforce, but we see the army moving up here. These Zerglings are just surrounding the pylons. Gonna work on the Nexus right here. Gonna shut down Samura's ability to reinforce. These Stalkers able to send these Hydralisks away. However, just the sheer amount of Zerglings that are here is not gonna be good for the Stalkers out of here. We see a warp in from a bunch of Zealots come in. This Nexus may actually stay up, and it looks like they're able to mop it up. It's about to keep about 500 HP right there. So, interesting game. Well, on the tech side of that, we see a transition to a robotics facility or a robotics bay. We see some Immortals coming out, +2 attack right there. So, good stuff. Samura needs to take a 4th base to be able to keep up with the economy that's going to be going on here. The Zerg is just able to just continue to farm and get the money that he needs to be able to have a powerful army. Infestation Pit on the way, be able to transition Shadarki up to Hive Tech as needed. So good game so far. We see some Spine Crawlers and Spore Crawlers in the middle of the map just to slow things down. And these Creep Tumors, Shadarki has done a really good job. He's got a lot of vision here. He knows that. I know without a shadow of a doubt, our Protoss player only has 3 bases. Right? Unless there's some weird proxy from week 1, right? There's only, that's what's here, right? That's it. We have, I pressed a button by accident. I didn't mean to. We have the Zerglings right here to be able to see that, hey, I'm going to burrow right here and delay any just walking on over. And I don't think there's any detection available. No, there's no detection. So the instant Samura's going to want to be able to move out and try to take a base, he's going to like have to go, okay, I got to go to my robotics facility and build an observer. We see an observer being in queue. Robotics bay, we see the extended thermal lance happening, so it enables the Colossi to have a little bit more range. 20 more Banelings. It's a lot of Banelings that Shadarki's just able to just, hey, we got some Banelings here. It's pretty cool. Going to the army size tab, it's dead even. Worker supply, Samura was able to get kind of caught up. Only a 6 worker difference, so going to the income station right here, it's better than it has been, but again, a nod still going to our Zerg player right there. Looks like we're getting ground level 2. That other forge is not being set up. We see a 5th base taken from Shadarki right here. Army moving out right here. We see an observer with the army, so going to slow down the ability to keep building these Creep Tumors and reduce some of the vision that Shadarki has on the map. There's only 1 Colossus though. 1 Colossus with the storms right here. May be able to do an exchange right here, but gotta be very careful. There's not a lot of defense right here. Now, what is Shadarki doing? Shadarki's, you know what? You can have that base. It's not really saturated anyway. You know, these spines are gonna throw some damage down. You can have that base. I don't care too much, but these lurkers are setting up in position. Sieging, being able to do so much damage right here, but the observer being able to provide a little bit of support right here. This observer right here is going to be very, very important. Some storms coming down in the middle of the attack right there. big exchange happening, but the Zerg are able to just force that off. Just the 6 Hydralisks that are right there. Some of them are so low, but taking out that army right there. So that additional, everything got taken out by Shadarki. So literally Samura's, again, 10 Stalkers being warped in at home is the only defense. We see +3 attack in research. Colossi count starting to try to be rebuilt right here. The army supply significantly higher for Shadarki. He smells blood. He smells the inability for Samura to be able to react to this. These Stalkers are the only thing doing it, non-blink, trying to focus on some of the units that are right there. The Lurkers are able to get down, so Samura has to retreat. This Colossi right here saying, it's okay, boys, I'm here. However, I can't see underground. So these Lurkers are just doing free damage to all the units that are right here, doing 33 damage to armored units. Very, very scary stuff for our Lurkers. Again, pushing up right here, sieging the pylons, sieging in against Samura's base, preventing any reinforcements or any defense happening to that 3rd base right here, 2nd robotics facility. You know what? I don't care about your Lurkers. I'm just going to chrono boost the observer over here, and I'm just going to try to defend it right here. These probes are not long for this world. We have things in the mineral line. Hydras are just sieging. Lurkers are just sieging, and this Nexus is almost about to go down. The splash damage from the Lurker looks like it's about to take it. We see a warping of Zealots coming in right here. These Stalkers are just getting demolished by these Lurkers right here. I don't think there's any detection. There's finally some detection. This Observer right here able to do it, but a huge flood of Lings coming in. This Colossi able to just kind of work the high ground, get up right there, take it out. Gets destroyed. A big swarm, a big surround, and Samura tapping out with the GG. Congratulations to Shadarki taking the 4th game in the series against Capital One, giving Raytheon Corgi Squad a metaphorical victory or a spiritual victory in their 4th map. Lots of so scary stuff right there. Those Lurkers and the inability to know that it was coming right there is really, really important. Samura doing the GG, but not quite wanting to get out quite yet. Actually has the range to be able to work on these Lurkers right here, and it's gonna shake them away a little bit. But Shadarki has a huge bank right here and can easily flood in. See some Zealots actually warping in right here. I mean, he GG'd, right? Like, I didn't miss that. We're gonna have to have a chat about your manner. I'm just kidding. Samura moving in right here. +3 weapons just got done. +2. Very, very strong Protoss units right here. 46 Lings in the production tab right here. They're about to pop. Lots and lots of Lings are about to just dance in a base right here. Just a couple Colossi and a battalion of Zealots just moving around on the map. Spinecrawler's like, you know what? I'm uprooted. I can move. I'm really not too worried about it. Actually, I should be because I'm about to die. These Lurkers moving in right here, just burrowing in. Everything that's here just gets completely destroyed. These Colossus trying to do a little bit of damage right here. This one Colossus trying to work the high ground to its advantage, but these Lurkers are able to spike up. Production tab is non-existent. There's 15 probes left, 16 Hydralisks. Samura GGing officially this time. And congrats to Shadarki for taking the victory. So thank you guys for tuning in this week for some StarCraft 2 action. We'll see you guys next week for more StarCraft 2 action in the After Hours Gaming League. My name is Project, and I'll be signing off.